Another question, now that we've crossed over the threshold into the new year, how can I connect with my higher self?
When you use the word higher self, we like to refer to that as your soul. And we imagine that we're speaking of the same entity that you experience, but your soul is your highest version of you. It's the culmination of all lifetimes you experience on earth. It's the culmination of all experiences you have between lifetimes, and it's the culmination of everything that you have that's non-earth lifetimes. So your soul is pretty amazing, and it has, of course, infinite, and it's very, very expansive in scope. So when you want to connect with something, we say go straight to the soul. Okay? So the way to connect with your soul is to be in the moment, to tell yourself the truth, to root out where you're lying to yourself, to allow yourself to learn from every experience, to take deep responsibility for every experience you're having, just like we talked about earlier in the meeting. Owning the experience you have and letting it reveal to you your truth is connecting with your soul. And using I don't know anything, what is true now, to open yourself out of the habit of the limited mind into the expansiveness of the soul's perspective. Basically, all the tools we've been teaching for the last year, used all over the place, all different ways and all at the same time. But what is true now, make sure you're not lying to yourself, root out when you're being habitual, and take deep responsibility for loving you, emanating your truth, and opening up to the expansive viewpoint of your soul. Just that. Everyone's like, okay, can we have a siesta first? How do you check in and make sure your chakras are in balance? Well, we'll start with the first one. So everyone, think of your crotch. Seriously, think of your crotch. Think of the joining of your legs. And you know there's stuff there. Whether it's male stuff or girl stuff, there's stuff there. And you have reactions to having that stuff down there too. So let's just all let whatever comes up, come up. The nice thing about looking at the first chakra is, in addition to the fact that it's got parts down there that are going to probably trigger you when you think of it in those terms, is it's all about your survival, all about your real base needs: food, water, shelter. Okay? Some of you may be triggered around those things, especially with this earthquake that's happened. Some of you may be feeling guilty that you have, and some other people don't. So, you know, these sorts of things come up. So to answer your question, Patrick, it's really about looking at what traditionally the energetics of each chakra are about, and then seeing if you get triggered, seeing what ideas come up, seeing what visions come up, asking yourself who's answering the question. It's just becoming conscious of the energies of those chakras. So if you start looking at your base chakra and your survival needs, you know, do you feel safe? How do you feel about safety? For a lot of women and some men, but a lot more women, there's a real vulnerability attached to even considering that region of their body. Do you feel vulnerable? Do you feel taken advantage of? Do you feel, you know, is your boss telling you that you should be worrying about your job? So as you look at the energies of that area, of those stories, of that experience, that's how you can see what's going on with your chakra. At least that's the way we want to do it. So then you go to your second chakra, and that's a lot about sex. As in copulation, as in interacting on a sexual level with other people. Sexual energy. How do you feel about your sexual energy? How do you feel about the sexual energy of others? Do you feel like it's okay for people to display affection? How does that trigger you? How does that challenge you? Gay marriage. What are your opinions about that? That fits in this area too. Marriage in general, gay or not, that's in there too. So it's that sexual primary partnership relationship energy. What are your triggers? Everybody's got a few of them. Have you looked at yours? You've got some, guaranteed. You may have already transformed them, but you've had them at least one. Everybody's got at least one, guaranteed. Then you move up into your third chakra. And what starts to become really interesting when you start to get into the third chakra is the third and fourth chakras are merging. So now we can't really talk about the third chakra independently of the fourth chakra. But just in general, the third chakra is about how you are in the world, how you move in the world, your power chakra, your emanation, how you experience your interaction with other people. Are you one of these corporate climber types? Are you rude? Do you boss people around? Do you cut people off in traffic? Or do you acquiesce? Are you a victim? Do you let people stomp all over you? How do you move in the world? Yeah, that third chakra will mess you up if you're not looking at it, because that third chakra is where victimhood lives. Are you a creator or are you a victim? Or do you go back and forth? Third chakra will wake you up about that. Get into the fourth chakra and it's about love. Sure, everybody wants to think it's about Valentine's Day love, but it's really about self-love. It's about how do you love yourself. Are you saying mean things to yourself? Are you calling yourself fat, stupid, and ugly? Or are you being kind to yourself? Are you being loving so that you can love others? You can only offer the amount of love you have for yourself. So if the third and fourth chakra are together, all of a sudden, the way you are in the world is colored and infused with the way you are within. The way you love yourself is the way you walk in the world now. The way you love yourself is the way you walk in the world. How are you walking in the world? We'll just keep going because there's no reason to stop. The fifth chakra, your throat chakra. Here, of course, clearing the throat happens immediately. How many of you cleared your throat? We wouldn't be surprised to hear more than one has done so. Yeah, coughing, clearing throat, the whole thing. The energy of your throat chakra. Can you speak up? Maybe you can energetically emanate, but can you speak your truth? Can you tell people, this is how I feel? Can you state your opinions? Can you offer your truth without being preachy? Can you take away the need to preach and tell people what you think they need to hear? And instead infuse yourself with the truth that you are emanating and then speak about it when asked? Answer questions that are asked to you, but not seek out people that you can lecture to in order to feel like you know what you're talking about or you're important or smart. A balanced throat chakra can be tricky because it's so tempting to speak out and preach, and really a balanced throat chakra answers questions that are asked. It's more about the internal conversation than it is the external conversation. It's speaking to yourself about your truth rather than telling your truth to others and finding balance there. Okay, then we go to the third eye. Looking at the world through the truth through your truth. So here's the thing with the earthquake again. When you look at the earthquake, do you see people victimized or do you see people that created a very powerful and triggering event? That's a perfect example of the third eye. When you look out of your eyes, are you looking at the world from a place that says, I am a victim, or are you looking at the world from a place that says, I'm a creator? There are other ways of using the third eye, but that's the one that really is up for now, is looking out at the world and saying, how am I choosing to see this? It's also the glass half full, glass half empty thing. It's also saying, what is this teaching me? This is happening for me, not happening to me, all that third eye stuff. And then you have your crown chakra, which of course is your connection to your soul. So are you opening up to your soul's experience, or are you closed? Remember we had that thing last week? This is limitation. This is all I get is what I think about. This is I get expansion from my soul. Okay? So it's not so much to say, are my chakras spinning nicely, which is the way it used to be looked at, as it is, the things that my chakras, the areas of my body that my chakras work with, am I dealing with the triggers and habits I find there? Triggers, habits, and fears. Yeah? Breathing.